Hey everyone, welcome again to my podcast, Suchitra's Life, with me, Suchitra. Do you all rely on to do lists in your day to day lives? Well, I do. In fact, a lot. And this has been such a lifesaver for me personally, as I always seem to drift off from my core activities quite a lot. And I needed that one thing that keeps reminding me of the things that I need to focus on to get my life together. For example, let's say I open my work laptop and list down things that I need to do on a particular day, but at the same time, I might come across an article or a video and just go down the rabbit hole and come up only to realize that I've spent so much of my time on something that doesn't need that at all. And there's this guilt, shame, and anger over myself that I just let these distractions dictate my day. Lately, I've started to do something that's really helpful. Actually, I've done this quite irregularly through the course of my life, and it's only now that I'm being consistent in using my to do lists and checklists that will help me work with this chaotic mind of mine. I remember reading like another book of Atul's called Better, and I quite liked it. So when I came across this title, I was all set to read this as well, but the classic me kept putting it off till I couldn't. So the checklist manifesto is Atul's observations about using a very simple tool that's accessible to all, which are checklists, to help us manage our work lives better. So basically, in this book, checklists in terms of work life was explored, not really so much for the personal life. Maybe we can. Um, well, checklists, they sound simple, right? Well, yeah, they do sound simple, but the things that I've uncovered after reading this book are really cool. Like, even the best and the greatest in any field can make mistakes and are not immune to it. It's just that they almost have a simple checklist, like a physical or a mental one, that helps them manage the situation or just get back up. In this book, Atul talks about how checklists came into existence and how they are used across different sectors like restaurants, architecture firms, and even someone managing a large portfolio of investment funds in a big corporation. To go back a bit, checklists started from aviation industry, and we see our author's conversations with Daniel Bowman, who is in charge of drafting these safety checklists for airlines, and how Daniel describes that checklists must be actionable and cut out all the fluff. Like, just imagine a pilot using them in an extreme situation. The pilot cannot afford to go through tons of lengthy paragraphs to get to what needs to be done. That's just disservice. So, Atul, who is a surgeon himself, tries to come up with a solution to minimize the errors that are happening in the operating rooms across the hospitals. And he has observed various fields relying on checklists and finally comes up with a checklist for a surgeon that is being tested for a 3-month period across a chosen set of hospitals for their data. And he realizes that there is like a you know a slow and steady decrease in the errors that are being made in an operating room. As I was reading it, I realized that there are many layers to how a checklist can work in various fields, and especially in the field of medicine, there's so much to it. While testing the checklist, Atul finds that for a pointer like, make sure the patient has taken prescribed antibiotic, has brought into light the fact that some hospitals do not have them in stock in time, or they don't have enough funding to acquire these antibiotics. It just brought these factors into the light. And other things like introducing each other in an operating room also felt weird for the surgeons and the nurses and other departments, but it ultimately led to good outcomes. I would not reveal too much here, but as you read through the book, you realize that to have a successful surgery, all factors must come together, and there's always so much new information coming into the market always that we humans can get overwhelmed and tend to miss out on the simplest of things, which can take a hit on a person who's on the operating table, lying there being absolutely vulnerable. I'm sure there may be areas where checklists may not be the right solution, but this book helps us in understanding that we do need to rely on tools and not everything can be memorized, even though we've been doing or practicing something for most of our lives, like surgeons. If this short review interests you, please pick this one up and do give it a read. Until next time, take care.